Brought to you by Rush TV.
Happy Super Bowl and congratulations to the insert winner's name here. For whoever's team won, congrats, and to those whose team lost, better luck next year. But you know what you'll never lose is the OCWFED news. Speaking of OCW news segue, hello and welcome to the Turnbuckle. I'm your host Tammy Young, and this is the weekly news report. First on the docket, we have an update on OCW's weekly shows Riot and Turmoil. Fans are excited as both shows are quickly approaching their momentous moments, as Riot is only 2 shows away from its 600th episode. With Turmoil being 8 shows away from its 300th episode, with fans eagerly waiting for these 2 moments, let's not forget the sold-out event that is scheduled to take place in only 2 weeks, as OCWFED will be celebrating its 18th anniversary on February 25th, 2023. An official card for the show has not been announced, but that hasn't stopped fans from pre-ordering tickets for the event. As we continue to wait for the official word on what matches will be taking place, we will keep you updated on any news that is shared. On to this week's injury report. Things seem to have picked up again, as a few new faces have been added to the list, but not many that will majorly impact the show going forward at this time. First up, we have Victor Carmine, who was seen giving an interview with Jim Black. Carmine was viciously attacked by Quartz as he made his return to the ring on Turmoil 292. We don't have much detail on Carmine's injuries, as he was seen using crutches and a neck brace, but we don't have any information on the extent of his injuries or when he will return to action. Next up, we have reports that were filed late that evening following Riot. OCW star Satohiko Hida, also known as Aisu, has been hospitalized on what looks to be a fractured omoplata. Aisu was attacked by OCW North American champion Owen as the two stood face-to-face in the ring. Owen delivered several hellish powerbombs to Aisu, leaving him motionless in the ring. Our reports state that Aisu will be out of action for 3 to 6 months following the attack. We'll share more details as they emerge in the coming weeks. Last on the list for today, we have an incident that might be considered too gruesome for some of our audience. The OCW general manager herself, Kumiko Tanaka, also known as Imp, suffered a brutal gash to her forehead that required 12 staples following an attack by Harry Etiquette. Before the attack, Imp called Harry to the ring for a proposition. The OCW women's title for anything Harry wants within Imp's power, as long as Harry never fought for the women's title again. Fans were shocked as Harry handed the title over to Imp in what seemed the most disappointing moment in Harry's life. As Imp goes to celebrate, Harry attacked General Manager Imp, knocking her out of the ring and slamming her head first onto the steps. Imp was checked out by medical staff and seemed to have suffered a concussion following the attack, and is currently not cleared to return to her duties at this time. We'll keep you updated on any updates that come past our desk. That's it for this week's injury report. We wish everyone on this list a speedy recovery, and as much as we hate to see an injured wrestler, we will try to keep you updated on any additions or updates to this list as time goes on. Up next, we have the highlights of last week's Riot. But first, here is the matchups for this week's Turmoil. Sorry to cut the match card short, but this is just in as we have received exclusive footage from a backstage attack that took place during Riot. It seemed as though Marcus McMichaels was attacked by Christine Garcia during an interview during the show where McMichaels was speaking about his intentions at winning this year's Rumble Grounds Royal, following the vicious attack on Marcus's leg. Garcia was quoted yelling, "You won't be putting your foot on anyone's throat in OCW anytime soon." Marcus was taken to the local medical facility where several x-rays were taken, but Marcus was reported to have left before receiving the results. Our sources stated that Marcus has this to say as he left the clinic: "All I need is one leg, you piece of..." Marcus has a big fight ahead of him as he faces Owen at the go-home show for Turmoil. Will he be able to compete in his current condition? We shall see. On to this week's Riot highlights. First up, OCWFED looks to welcome Alexander Black to its ever-growing roster. Many fans look forward to seeing what this new star brings to the table. Following OCW's new rookie announcement, we have the return of the Wolves of Vanguard. The OCW universe was shocked to see Trey Golden, accompanied by Marissa Welch, the Iceman Nate Mack, and Daryl Webster. The group took a turn for the last a few months back as Trey Golden dealt with a legal matter, and Iceman Nate Mack proceeded to feud with John Carter. The crowd cheered as the Wolves of Vanguard took to the audience to celebrate the reunion of their crew with their fans. The luring question comes to mind: what is next for the Wolves of Vanguard? Up next, we have another surprise as we have the return of Derek Smith. Derek, whose last major showing was at OCW's pay-per-view Don't Come to New York, where he lost his international championship to Claudio Stardom. Since then, Derek has not been seen with OCW until his match with Gonzalo Munoz at Turmoil 292, where he defeated Munoz in a singles match. Many fans are looking forward to seeing what this new Derek will bring to OCW, but only time will tell. Last for our segments of the evening, we have Sheldon Tremblay, a member of Sanctum, and part of the OCW's tag team champions, in a face-off against one part of the tag team, Max Storage, Colin Locke. The two shared some heated words as many fans expected the two to break out into a fight following the exchange. Fans were left blue-balled as the two parted ways following the confrontation. Colin and Sheldon are scheduled to face each other in a tag team match for the tag team titles at OCW's 18th anniversary show. And for this week's main event, we have the OCW's CCW #1 contender, Rex, versus OCW's heavyweight #1 contender, Rust Cole. The match was shorter than most of the fans expected, as Rex seemed to be well prepared to take on Rust. Rust, who isn't known as being a pushover by any means, seemed to have a hard time getting around Rex's attacks. Even though Rust was unable to get in much offense during his matchup against Rex, he was able to kick out of a pin attempt following a scum bomb into a deadly lariato. Rust tried his hardest at making a comeback, but was put down as Rex was able to hit another deadly lariato, followed by placing Rust into a camel clutch where it was too much for the Grand Slam champion, and he had to tap out, giving Rex the win. Rex looks strong growing into his match with Innis Quartz, but does he have what it takes to take down the CCW champion? If you want to know, you'll have to keep watching OCWFED.com, where you can stay up to date on matches. For all other news and reports, you can stay tuned to the Turnbuckle. As for now, this is the end of this week's episode, but we'll see you next time.